I just noticed I didn't have the microphone with me, so I just repeated. Hello, friends, chess friends, and we are going to take a look at game number 3 of the current World Chess Championship, Ding versus Gukesh. We are going to do this with the free chessable course by International Master Andras Toth, and he's going to present us 3 or 4 positions from game number 3. Where we have to, well, use our brains by ourselves. We don't just watch a stream and let us be introduced to everything like GMs and engines telling us what the next best move is, so on. We just get the position presented, and the question is, what is the next best move? So we really get into it. Like that a lot, as we are learning that way. And then Andreas is taking us into the video recap that he has done. So, basically, I guess chessable is well known by now. It is for every strength, beginner, intermediate, advanced, expert, master players. And it's brand new, of course. And what else? Yeah, I think this is fine. He updates it every day. Yeah, like not today because today was a rest day. And this is what I like so much about it. Tactics and strategic problems to solve. Train your skills from games at the very highest level. So what we always do on Chessable is we do the reviews. So when we did a mistake in the puzzles, or the positions, then we are in the need of repeating them. And, if you get something right, it will be put all the way down into the stack of puzzles and only be brought up when you master the other stuff. Yeah, so we'll see what comes up in the review from game 1 and game 2, and if I can remember it. And then we dive into the new positions, of course. So I click on review. And we click on review, and it starts. So, can you find here a very powerful and forcing idea that crushes white position? Yes, I can. I think I remember this. And if you are in chat, let me know if you can do that too. So I just do this move here. Then I leave the pawn the knight hanging. I play this one here. Okay. And now comes again the exciting thing. I leave the bishop hanging and take the knight here. And now I'll take with the rook, and we are good. So basically white center is done. Yes, that was all correct. Got it. Next variation. White accepts the challenge. How should black proceed? And that was difficult here. I didn't get that one right as the one before in my first try, but I think here it was keeping the pressure up. Yes, that is correct. And here I don't know anymore. I think I forgot. So I think... I knew that I had to keep on the pressure. So what I did last time was queen to e7, but I think it was wrong. So I think it was bishop. Yes, bishop to g4, I think. Let's see. Incorrect. It was taking here. Spectacular queen sacrifice, which is the only move to maintain the pressure. I don't know why it actually maintains the pressure, and I need to find out again. I forgot that from last time. So I need to click on next, this one here. Now he takes, And now I'm good to bring the bishop in. Yes. So, but the thing is, what I don't understand is here, h4, knight takes f7, and this one. Why is that the best move? I usually try to think what happens. Why is it so super good? Because because we have the queen trade anyway, and I get the bishop. That's it, I think. Yes. That's it, I think. Okay. So we are good with that. And we are going to click on the next variation, of course. So white insists on maintaining the material surplus, but this backfires badly. What would you play here? Now I think comes the move here. Yes, and now we have the forced checkmate. And how was the forced checkmate delivered? It was with the checkmate combination. We're starting with this one here. Yes. So, and now I think last time I tried to take with the rook, but this didn't work. Well, no, I went for, yes, I went for the bishop move here, but that was not correct. So I now take with the rook, and we have forced checkmate with the bishop on f3 here, and checkmate. Yes, that would have been correct. Okay, next variation. Now from the game number 2. And white has 2 pawns hanging, a5 directly and e4 indirectly. Yes. Can you find a way to fight for an edge with white? It was the move here, and now I have to think again. What was it? It was a strange move, I remember. Well, at least a strange move for me. And I think it was knight to g5. Maybe I'm totally off. I don't know. I try. Yes, it was wrong. Knight to h4. Yes. Okay. So threat is knight f5. However, white's knight appears to be very vulnerable on h4. So we're clicking on next, doing the move. We see what the black does. And now I had the queen move, I think. Yes. And now, can you find a way to fight for an edge with white? This is all correct. What was it here then? It was taking the pawn. Yes. Okay, and now comes the next variation, and that is always also a checkmate thing. So how did that work? I found that when we played it, it started with the check from the knight. Correct. And now we have the only escape square for the black king on e6. And that was not being exploited by checking with the knight, because then the what's it called, the escape square is still there for the king. So that's why you need to play an in-between move. And the text said there is always the threat is stronger than the, I don't know it anymore, so I just go and see this one here, correct? And now comes the final blow. Oh, incorrect, I was dreaming, yes. But if I play here, yes, I needed that for the pawn, of course. He cannot take. He needs to go to, yes, I'm stupid, e6, and then the checkmate with the pawn. Correct. Okay, so here, here, and here. Okay, so good. Yeah. That's how I play chess usually. Sometimes it is just too quick and I don't really think. So now comes the repetition, yeah, from game one, because I didn't get these right. Or I got, yes, I didn't get this right. So it's white to play. And here we also have super nice checkmate. And I remember this was being done this way. And then we had the check with the queen. Needs to go. And now here. And this was Tal Salnikov in 1970. And now the repetition for game one here. And that was also starting with a check by the queen. And I still remember that I didn't, when I first tried to do it, I didn't see the final queen g6. So we just go here for the check, continuation check, and this one, final try to block it, checkmate. Yes. And here we have, can you refute this lovely idea? Yes, I can. It was with the queen here. I'll take. Again, the checkmate threat on f8 with the rook. And that is being taken care of by the rook. Okay, so the review session has been done. And now we'll just start with the game number 3. Yes, so, but here it says 4 out of 5 variations. What is missing? Let's click on it. Ah, this is informational. We didn't take a look. Ah, he put a new into the course. So we click a view on it. Yeah, it's all good. It is just the current game. So we just click through the full game to get it off our list here. Yeah, and game number 2 was drawn from here. Continue, and it's taken off. And now, how many positions does he give us? 5. Oh my goodness, I usually take time to do this. But it's okay, we have the time and we just start right now. Okay, so this is out of game number 3. It is Gukesh with the white pieces and Ding with the black pieces. What should we do now? It's white to play. So here I need to find out, take a look at the position, what's happening. Okay, no queens, rook, rook, bishop, bishop, knight, knight, 2, 4, 6 pawns, 2, 4, 6, 7 pawns. So black is a pawn up. He has 2 pawn islands. And white also, but it has an isolated pawn on b7. Okay, that's the material counting. Now the position. Oh, sorry. So, the black knight is unprotected on f6. Undeveloped pieces on b8 and f8. No one had castles yet. Okay, and the bishop on b3 is not protected. So I think forcing the knight away it doesn't work. So if I force the knight away by g5, it just goes to d7 and protects e5. But that didn't make sense anyway. So, how about the normal stuff? Like trying to get the bishop out of the way for the castling? If there's anybody in chat who likes to help, you're of course welcome. Can I attack the bishop? What happens if I put my knight to d2? It's attacked, it needs to go out of the way. Let's see. A file doesn't work. He could go to c4. And if he's on c4, I just take it. He has to retake. And I have the bishop pair, which is supposed to be a good thing. So I think I can do that because it creates a weak pawn structure on black's queen side. I think it is knight d2. Let's see and check. And it is correct. Super. And now I just follow up by taking. Yes, very good. But now what shall we do? Okay, so what shall we do? So, I think I can just well, why not pawn e3? Yes, pawn e3. Is pawn e3 a good move? E4 might also be good. I mean, e4 would leave us with a weak d4 pawn, but Hello, Twitch chat. If you can help, just join and let me know what you think here. So we have that c4 pawn now. And my idea is pawn e3. That's probably the best move here. What will happen? He has to protect it. Only way to protect it is by going pawn b5. And then he has a weak c6 pawn. Can be attacked by my bishop, but it is protected by his knight. But still, the knight has to stay there, which is good. And I can castle afterwards. So I think that is the best thing to do here, and I just try. Maybe it's wrong, we see. Ah, it was correct. And now the bishop. It's a good move, but an alternative. So it was not wrong. Okay, so what else to do now? All right, I think I can take the knight. Then I'll... Ah, no, it doesn't work because the king can protect on d7. I thought taking the knight, then the bishop to g7, attacking the c6 pawn and the a7 pawn. But yeah, the king can protect on d7. So if I don't take, what do I do then? Oh. I found one good move, but chessable doesn't accept it as best move or as the move they chose. So I like to get rid of the knight, so I have better attacking chances or better chances to get my d pawn through. So how can I attack the knight, and where does he have to go? He could just go on d5 and is probably more or less safe. I don't know. I still think that f7 is so good because I can castle then. I'll try again. But I just did that, didn't I? And yes, I did. So, if anybody is in chat who can help, please let me know. What is the best move here? If I take... Yes, that will work. If I take the knight, then I bring up the bishop. He protects with the king. And then I can bring my rook to a6. So that's it. I think that's quite good. So I'll try. It's incorrect. Phew. Okay, the best move here is... Okay, bishop g2 is also good here with little threats. Yes, I did that. But I didn't see knight take b5. If he takes... Of course, then I can bring up the bishop. Yes, and I win the rook. Didn't see that, of course. Okay, so here and now. Yes, okay. So that's quite all right. And if I take a look here, it's always because I have my monitors with YouTube and Twitch, so I can see chat if there's any. So I'll click on exit or on the next variation here. Okay, but we are reading the text first. Okay, although this move, bishop f4, is still theory, this is the less trodden path. White leaves the b3 pawn hanging and continues to develop his pieces. This, however, needs justification. Okay, bishop takes b3, and played was h5 by Ding. Okay, what should we do now? We just follow in the book, and not what Ding was playing. Okay, so knight d2, exclamation mark, a tricky move to find, and I found it. Woohoo! As b4 kind of announced, bishop takes bishop b8. Bishop takes, what is this? Okay, tricky move to find, as bishop f4 kind of announced bishop takes b8. Knight b8, I believe. Okay, so ideas. However, they are rather harmless. So if that is taken, rook takes, and here. And it is only black who can hope for an advantage with the bishop pair. Okay, so instead, bishop c4 was played. Black plays feels wrong, but how do we take advantage of it? And that was the bishop c2, rook c1, and it's completely winning for white b3. Okay. So, but this is what we had in our good move. D takes, 14e3, the pawn is under attack, and b5 invites even more. Okay, here we have it, and this was the good move, 15. And bishop g2 is also good, as we just said, take, and here we go. Okay, white has a decisive idea. Next variation. Okay, it's tricky but and hard for me, but we'll get through it, of course. So, Ding is in a sticky situation as the c2 bishop is in mortal danger. Let's check. c2 bishop, it's there. And why is it in mortal danger? Because it cannot go anywhere. I wonder, and looking forward to the game recap, how did it come there at first place? So, the Chinese world champion had to find here a very clever idea to stay in the game. What would you play? Counterattack and making free spaces for the bishop. Is that possible in any way? If I take the pawn on g4, I have that escape square for the bishop on f5. And can I somehow... The rook is now there. Come in with the bishop. Nope. Yeah, I think it is knight to e4. If he takes, I take with the bishop, he takes there, and we are good. But Yeah, I think that's the solution. So, and we'll just check if that is correct. It is incorrect. And this is the best move. Ah, a lovely idea, essentially black's only move. But why? Next, and I played and we see what white does. Okay, white attacks now here. Hmm. Mm-hmm. The idea is there, but I don't see it. So, I had the idea to take there earlier on. Otherwise, the bishop is gone. What can I do here? How can I prevent this? Hey, how are you? Ella, Adam. Ella, I'm super good. I'm trying to solve this here, but I don't find the solution. And what is the solution? I have no idea, not the slightest idea, and I need to save the bishop. I cannot bring it here, cannot bring it there. And why did g8 help? I have no clue. I really don't know. So I just play something where I think it is okay. But how can I attack? I mean, the bishop here is unprotected, but yeah, now of course I have the pawn move to g4. Yes, that was the idea behind it. Okay. Okay, let's read. Okay, that's what we needed to find. A lovely idea. Essentially, black's only move. Rook c1 was played, or should have been played, but in the game g5, because he probably saw this idea. Yeah. And now, after that was played, he could just retreat. Well, he could not retreat, but he could play, yeah, several moves now. So, but we stay with the what's given. So this is given, and we go for g5 exclamation mark, and no matter what white does, black manages to escape unscathed. A super cool engine like evacuation. Yes, nice, really well done. Okay, we go for the next variation. We have 3 more to go. And black's last move was definitely an unfortunate call, allowing white to carry out his dangerous plan. How would you proceed? Again, we have to proceed here. White to play. This is now turned around, which makes it a little difficult for me because I have to think somewhat new. So Okay, black's last move was unfortunate. It was the rook move to h5. Was it the one that was played during the game? Did I forget that? Hold on. Here we knew that, yes. To find it, we have to go here. Okay. And now here. Okay. Rook, no, g5 was played. Okay, g5 was played earlier on. Okay, so we go back to this here and quiz where to play. Yeah, basically I think I just play that c1 move and get the hold on. Why was f5 taken? Ah, because we didn't push it. Yeah, we had the pawn on g4, and that's why the black bishop cannot go to f5. So, what is now our way to go here? If this was unfortunate, something must happen here. Okay, let's try the forced moves. I play c1, and the only place for the bishop now is f5. If it's at f5, oh, sorry, what can I do? Why to carry out his dangerous plan? How would you proceed? Can I somehow get that? So I think the pawn to e4 does it. Then the escape is gone. Yeah, pawn to e4. No, if I take pawn e4, he has d3. So if he has d3, what am I going to do? I can take with the bishop. So I think that's the correct solution. Let's go. It is super nice. Now I just retake with the pawn. And now I bring in the rook. Yes. All good. Ah, I didn't see this one. Now he's saving that. How can I get rid of that one now? How to do this? Maybe no. How can I get the knight out of the way now? I think by bishop f2. If I play, yeah, That's probably the best way to go. Let's see. Yes, correct. Okay, and now I can take. Then I bring my rook out of the way, and then I can take the bishop. We'll see. So I'll take. It's incorrect. A double attack. Ah, we see. It's a double attack on the pawn. Okay. Okay, knight e2 is a brilliant way to remove the defender, but also keep the bishop pair. Black now loses a piece by force. Ah, I would have lost the bishop pair. Yes, correct. So he still cannot take here, cannot take there. Didn't take that into consideration. It was really good. Yes. Okay, and now I just go for the kill. Yes. I completed my daily goal, 1 hour on Chessable. It's a stream of 42 seconds, and yesterday I went in. Okay, so that is good. Then we have to read what just happened again, just to get the thorough understanding. So here's the position: Rook h5, question mark, exclamation mark. Black's last move was definitely an unfortunate call. And white to carry out, or allowing white to carry out his dangerous plan, how would you proceed? We played e4. I found it. The trap is shut. The bishop on c2 is now in mortal danger. The upcoming sequence is a marvelous example of deep calculation. Okay, so we had d takes e4, f takes e4. Found all that. This also, black activates his knight and challenges multiple loose pawns. This one, this one. Okay, do we have time to trap the bishop, or will our position collapse? Rook c1, also found it. Precise calculation proves that this move is in fact very good and grants white an advantage. Now knight takes d4. Looks like black has defended everything, but Gukesh saw away further. It was bishop f2, bishop here, and now comes the final finesse, after which the piece is lost. I played too fast, but yeah. A brilliant way to remove the defender, but also keep the bishop pair. Black now loses piece by force. And we have this one, and white has captured the intruder, a complicated but logical line. And I'm curious, when we do the video recap, how the bishop was placed there at all. Okay, so we are going into the next variation. As you can see here, can you see that? Yes. So 2 more to go, 4 and 5, before we go to the video recap. Okay, so let's read. I was fortunate enough to be in the VIP room, sitting very close to former world champion Vishy Anand, who at this point happily engaged with me in some analysis. What a legend. The Indian icon was worried about knight g4. But at his usual lightning speed, he found a lovely refutation. Let's see how you measure up against the former world champ. Yes, how I measure up. Okay, so it's white to play and what to do. And why is it such a move here? Okay, I cannot go out of the way with the bishop here. I mean the bishop on g2, because then he has a double attack on the bishop on f2. However, I could give up my bishop in an exchange. I'm already a piece up, and exchanging pieces is a good thing. So now I still cannot play the bishop. I forgot already again. So I think I can just attack the knight on g3, the rook on g3, bishop g3, and the rook has to escape. Cannot take because I retake. So, but is that something? No, I don't think so. The thing, of course, is the rook has to go away, and then I can just place my rook on h1, and then he has to retreat. Yeah, so I think that is a good choice. But again, so if I play bishop g3, he could just go rook h5, attacking my my pawn. This is difficult for me. Okay, what happens if I play... Okay, I play knight f3, attacking his rook. My rook is under attack. So I take with the king. He takes my bishop on f2. Let's see it. So cheap viewers on followers nation rule. Yeah, so basically that is not good. Okay, so don't like to have cheap viewers. Sorry. Okay, so I don't see it. I don't know. Let's do some more brain frying here. Yeah, I think the best move is the bishop to g3. Let's see. That is incorrect. And the best move was my second candidate move that I just had. And still, if he takes... well, I forgot that he cannot take because I get his rook. My bad. Okay, here he takes. And now instead of... well, taking... here, I just take the rook. It's again incorrect. First a check. This is difficult. The gorgeous intermezzo saves the day and allows white a simple win. Nothing else works here. So, if the knight takes, it is knight takes f2. Yes, it saves it. Okay, here. Oh, here I would like to have more variations, like what happens if he takes the knight first. So let's see again. Okay, here takes, knight takes. I would have never played that. Would have taken me minutes, like really long time to do that. The Twitch viewers, nice seeing you. So we are saving positions from game number 3. in the game, and here I have trouble to do the calculation. So it says that he takes knight takes bishop on f2. Then my rook is protected, of course. But why is it really protected? I just take. He retakes. I really don't know. So yeah, this one here, that one here. And as I'm really curious, I mean, I'm tired, but I'm curious. I'd like to challenge this by checking with the analysis board with the computer. Let's find out. Can you still see this? Does it come up? Yes, it does. Okay, that's good. So, what was my idea? I just take with the rook. It is 0.69. What was it before? 0.84. Okay, if I take the knight, it's losing. Next one is bishop d4. Yes, of course. Ah, I didn't see that bishop move too. Alrighty. Okay, I think I got it. Let's go back to the position here. Rook takes d1. Everything is good. Okay. So we still have that, yeah, we're 2 pawns down, but a piece up. And that is a little better in this position. Okay. So we are going to go to play this here. So he took, oh, it's white to play, sorry. I take, he takes, okay. So it is the in-between move. This is out of the way, and now I can take. Alternative, what was played? He goes out of the way, and I just take the... Yes, okay. And white is winning. Okay, nice. So we have the final variation before we go into the video recap. And yeah, just let's go. So, white to play. In extreme time trouble, Ding opts to grab some extra material, allowing a pretty finish. Can you spot it? Okay, Ding just grabbed the pawn here. And it is white to play now. Sorry. Yeah. First idea would be to give him some trouble by pushing the white bishop to h3. That rook on d7 has to defend the bishop on d4. So I put pressure on him. There's only one move where he can go to. It is d8. And if that happens, I just go with my dark squared bishop to g4 and have the pin on the rook on g8. So I try this. It's correct. I just exchange, but if I exchange now, oh, okay, didn't calculate that move through, so what now? Now that it's over, no, no. Da, 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 da. Okay, bishop f4. Maybe bishop f4. He has only one square to go, that is h5. Can I exploit that now? Taking with the, I don't know. This move is missing now. What happens on bishop f2? Doesn't seem threatening. So, but there must be a forced variation here. So, forced. How do I do this? Gabriel MM says yes, there must be a forced variation. So, how is it forced? And nice meeting you, Gabriel, by the way. So, how do I do this? I think maybe. What was it? I had something in my mind. It is king to f4. He goes h5. Look for the forcing moves. Yes, I try. It's so hard, but I try. Okay, so it is f4. He needs to go to h5. Then I take with the pawn on f5, maybe. He has to retake with the pawn, and I take with the bishop. And that threatens this one and this one, but my visualization leaves me here. Anybody else? If you're still in chat, Gabriel, can you give another hint? I take a look at the forcing variations, but I really don't see it. This is a real brain teaser. Forcing moves. So we have three forcing moves. It is bishop to h4. He has only one move, and that is rook h5. And then he can escape to the rest of the h file. So the next one is bishop f4. Again, he has to go to h5, and there's nothing I see. And then we have the king move. The king goes to f4. And then I think it's the king move. So I throw a virtual coin, comes down, and it is the king move. So I try with the king move and see if that is correct or wrong. It is incorrect, and it was the bishop. And at this point, Ding overstepped the time limit, but his position was lost anyway. Okay, so let's see how this continued. Forcing move, as I said, h5. And now I said I wanted to try the pawn move. And that is again incorrect. And now he does really that. Okay, so he probably then goes with the rook here and here. Okay. It's getting better and better. Yes, of course. Now I can take that one because it's out of the way. I need to go back to see again. Okay, here, yes. No need to take first. I just go, okay. So I take here and, okay. So neat finish. I will read this and then find out again. So let's see. We had rook h1 and rook takes g5. In extreme time trouble, Ding opts to grab some extra material, allowing pretty finish. Can you spot it? So we have bishop h3. It turns out that the bishop pair packs a hefty punch, and the rooks can't dodge the agile snipers. Okay, so f5 came in, and in the game, rook d8, or a variation would be rook d8, bishop h4. That's what I saw. So here, the bishop now was being played. And at this point, Ding overstepped the time limit, but position was lost anyway. Rook h5 allows a neat finish. Bishop takes 5. Yeah. And the rook is lost. So he decides to take the material with him. Okay, I understand now. Good. Okay. So that is nice. Finally, we made the variations, and now we are good to take a look at the game. But before we go through the game, I will just start the video by Andras Toth. Let's go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is now round 3 and another super exciting game to look at, to analyze, and to share with you. So without any further ado, let's jump into game 3, which has seen for the first time in the match the d pawn to be moved on move 1, and this is now Gukesh playing behind the white pieces, trying to put pressure on Ding Liren with a new opening choice. After knight f6 we saw knight f3, and that genuinely freaked me out because I was really worried about the prospect of a London, but luckily after d5 c4 arrived. By the way, I was sitting in the VIP room when the opening moves were played, and I was apparently not the only one who was a little bit concerned about the prospect of a London. Vishy Anand, right next to me, also was rather delighted when he saw the c-pawn being...
I see, Gabriel, that you're still in. So love Andras Toth. He is quite instructive. Yes, he is absolutely also with his other YouTube videos, and I really enjoy that he's doing this for us. So yeah, and I'm sorry that I didn't find the correct forcing move. I thought back and forth, but didn't find it. So yeah, now I enjoy watching the video recap, of course.
Being touched instead. Speaking of really high-profile guests, also in the VIP room was Boris Gelfand, again, who is still here, with a coaching business as well. So it is really awesome to rub shoulders with these legends and share a couple of half sentences and ideas. Speaking of half sentences, Gukesh captured d5 instantly and played knight c3, and Vishy he casually just went like, oh yeah, he's just gonna play queen c2, h3, bishop f4, yeah, that's the line, and waved it off, and I'm like, Okay, sure enough, what do we see on the board? Queen c2, followed by h3, followed by bishop f4 a few moves down the track. I'm like, wow, what was that all about? So let me tell you this, because I'm actually not particularly familiar with this rather trendy line of the Queen's Gambit declined. I tend to not play the Carlsbad structure too much. And so this is one of the structures that I don't know as much about as I would really like to. Actually, almost any structure I would like to more know about, but I know less about this than most structures. So I had to scratch my head a little bit about this H3 business. It turns out that the idea is that White really wants to play bishop f4, but anytime we
Yes, for the Twitch viewers, we just had a chat in YouTube, and Gabriel asked if it's a free course or is it a premium course on Chessable. So it's a totally free course. Everybody can, get it, download it for free. Well, basically not download it, but get it for free, and then do all the stuff that I just did. So yeah, really, really nice of Chessable, and it's a great way to follow the World Championship. And that's what I really promised myself. I mean, it's now 1 hour, 7 minutes for just a game recap. But I really think that from the tactical positions that he's presenting, I really learn a lot. Although it's brain frying for me, but and way over my head sometimes. But I'm so happy if I found the moves. And so let's continue watching, of course.
do so, knight h5 hits that bishop really annoyingly. And so in order to take the sting out of that move, we first prophylactically open up the diagonal, securing the h2 square for the bishop. Now, this queen trade with luring the bishop into c2 is still known to theory. However, here Gukesh chose a less frequently played move. Bishop g2 was played in a number of games, including another former world champion, none other than Vladimir Kramnik. Gukesh opted for bishop f4. Now, this is an interesting move because it really does give us vibes that he might want to take on a7 in order to restore the material, but that's not at all what this move is about. In fact, this is a mistake, giving black the bishop pair, and said bishop pair would in fact thrive in this position for black. No problems whatsoever. In fact, I would prefer to be black here, and so would your favorite engines. Instead, the idea, and this was the theme of the entire game, by the way, is to go after this bishop, which is definitely way too deep in enemy territory. And after, instead of taking on b8, if we choose the correct move, knight d2, this bishop does find itself in a bit of trouble. In fact, in this variation, it is altogether trapped and gone. Whereas after the slightly better bishop c4, here we have got knight takes c4, dc4, e3, and at this point, black must resign themselves to the fact that the c4 pawn is a goner and allow white a fantastic position with the two bishops, better central control. This is definitely one that Gukesh would have loved to play. Even worse here is b5, which allows multiple winning ideas and tactical ideas. The most obvious one is simply to capture the pawn and then go after the rook on the vulnerable light squares.
That's so funny because that was just one of the positions we had to do. And he said the most obvious is I didn't find it. So maybe not that obvious. Okay.
The long diagonal, this is total carnage city. So that is the justification of the move bishop f4. Against which Ding Liren played the quite thematic and strong h5, trying to provoke g5, which would allow knight e4, trading a pair of knights, landing the light squared bishop safely in the center on e4. No problems. Gukesh, of course, went, nah, not happening. But this, of course, allowed white, black, to obtain the control of the H file. That being said, this is not necessarily that much of a big deal, because after knight d7, knight d2, black here needed to find an incredibly clever evacuation process for the bishop on c2, which looks like this: rook g8, Now, if that doesn't have engine written all over it, I don't know what does, by which, of course, I mean that these are the types of ideas that we learn from the engines, because it is just simply marvelous to see that after rook c1, black simply plays g5. That's where the rook g8 comes into the picture. And we either trade bishops, which is definitely not a big deal for white. We would want much, much more. Or if we pull the bishop back, so will black. And again, I don't really like white's position here. This is definitely not what we want. This is why Gukesh, he played g5. But this move was very, very committal. And in fact, it allowed black to pull ahead. And indeed, after knight h5, bishop h2, it really doesn't look like there is a lot going on for white. It feels that the bishop on c2 should be able to escape. Gukesh tried to go after it with f3, which is the most logical move. And here, indeed, I have seen some interesting tweet to and fro's between grandmasters, and Anish Giri was one of them who just simply went like, he doesn't understand what the problem is. Why didn't he just go bishop f5, e4, drop back, and black is completely a-okay, no worries whatsoever. In fact, if black wants to be very cheeky, they can even start this whole operation with knight g7, highlighting the hanging bishop on h2. But I think bishop e6 would have kept everything very calm and collected. And
Gabriel just said there was an interesting line for white after rook g8, rook c1, g5, and he didn't comment on. So we probably finish the video, and then when we go through the game, I'll take a look, and maybe you just write it into chat, Gabriel. That would be, of course, appreciated, so we can take a look afterwards then.
Drawish, first and foremost. Instead, Ding dropped back to g7, which, by the way, objectively is a better move than bishop f5. However, after bishop g3, here he should have continued developing his pieces with either bishop e7 or bishop b4. Rook h5 was almost certainly a mistake. And here too, your engines will tell you that, this is totally fine. But this has put black on a very slippery slope. And I would say that from here on out, it was almost a straight road to defeat for black. Let me see. Now, let me show you how. e4, I mean, that's been the plan all the way. Now the c2 bishop is trapped, and so black has to start fishing. So take knight e6 is going to hit the d4 pawn and the g5 pawn. And here calculation, which is Gukesh's greatest strength, plays a major and critical role. And in this regard, Ding somehow, I feel like, has made a major mistake, allowing white to enter a scenario where you can clearly calculate yourself through every single line that matters and be able to pick the best moves and the best lines. And that's exactly what Gukesh. He went after the bishop, beautifully foreseeing that after knight d4, he can attack the knight. And when said knight gets protected, he can offer a trade even to that knight, because after knight takes e2, I can simply take back with the bishop. And now the c2 bishop is no longer defendable. It has nowhere to go. White is going to win a piece and the game. Ding instead opted for knight takes b3, trying to take as many pawns down as possible. But after rook takes knight takes king takes, very important move there. Black only has 2 pawns for the piece, and white has got the 2 bishops. So if white somehow manages to activate the minor pieces, in particular the f1 bishop, he should be cruising toward victory. Now, note that the small, maybe more natural appeal, I don't know if it appears more natural or not. To some people, maybe it does. Rook d2 is nowhere near as good, because here after knight e5, we are in a very awkward spot where it's impossible to stop both of these knight jumps. And yeah, things are now again looking quite dicey and complicated. Seemingly knight d4 does the job because it defends both. But actually, after c5, white now needs to admit a small defeat, since the knight can't be moved without allowing the check on f3. hence king d2, which obviously further complicated the mobilization of the previously mentioned minor pieces. But Gukesh is up for the challenge, knight d4. The knight looks great now, but king e2 was still a little bit unpleasant to play, best move, because now the f1 bishop is still struggling. However, that was not the only struggle, because by now Ding was also incredibly short on time. And so
Okay. Thank you, Gabriel, for writing in the variation. We're taking a look after the video is
we started to play here kind of pass moves. A6 was basically like a, okay, show me what you got. I'm not going to put any pressure on you. Do you have what it takes to win? But again, these positions are very, very calculable. And at this point, Ding was definitely already down on the clock, like around 5 minutes. Gukesh still has almost 20. So he was definitely up for the challenge. He first canceled out knight c4, then he reactivated the rook. And something very curious happened exactly here, because that was the second time when I went back to the VIP room, and because if I found Vichy again there, I decided to position myself close enough to the legend so that perhaps I could re-engage in some meaningful conversations. And here he seemed to be very concerned about knight g4, and I engaged with him in some analysis and lines and ideas, and we couldn't really refute it, but only for like a minute or so, and then his concerned face turned into a smile like that. He looked at me and he was like, "Ah, I got it. It's bishop c5." And as soon as he said that, I'm like, "Ah, what a pity I couldn't catch him on that one. That would have been such an awesome flex if I had found that idea before he did." Fat chance. So let me show you what we're talking about. So the obvious idea here is to play after knight g4, knight f3. However, rook takes d1 is super annoying. Obviously, king takes allows the f2 to be captured with check. But better still, oh no, sorry, no, never mind, no, better still, that's it. And black is actually winning after knight h3. So this is completely off the cards. The idea is that there is bishop c5 check here. And that intermezzo allows now white to retake on d1 without losing a piece. So yeah, knight takes h2 was the line that Vichy calculated. I didn't see this either, with the idea of knight takes f2, king takes f2, or rather rook d1 actually. Oh no, king takes f2 loses to bishop d4, sorry. Rook d1, knight d1, king d1, and f6. Yeah, that was it. And this is, I think, very drawable for black, because a lot of pieces have come off. There will be only 2 pawns left on the board, opposite colored bishops. Probably not winnable, but boy, was he super quick in finding this beautiful intermezzo check. Rook d6 is not good enough because we are capturing both rooks. And once again, if the king drops back after king takes, now the rook on h2 is hanging. It has to go back. But yeah, this is just not good enough. King e2, rook h1, any of the above moves would lead to a comfortable victory. Ding instead opted for just passing again, and that was just not good enough. Gukesh immediately seized the initiative, and again, Ding forced Gukesh into a calculable line. I'm saying it for the third time, and even the third time, it is a powerful message. Don't do that, because here he delivered a beautiful finish. The core idea with this king takes f3 is that Gukesh is looking to activate the 2 bishops on these diagonals.
But Andreas already said that Ding was incredibly short on time. So I believe Ding would have found all this if he had enough time. But time is a matter in the game. And that's why, of course, well, one for Gukesh.
And boy, those bishops are nasty. Let me show you one line. Rook g5 wasn't played. Rook takes d7, king d7, rook d1 check. And it turns out that the black king is extremely short of squares. If king e8, bishop h4. And now when the rook moves, we have got mate. King e7 walks into the pin. So king e6 is the only playable move. And then after bishop a3 check f5, there are multiple winning ideas here. I don't want to go too deeply into this. Rook e1 is your angel's favorite. And I think that does look very convincing. Both the black king and the black rook are in severe trouble. Instead, Ding opted to play bishop d4 first and then take the pawn on g5, but this also was crudely met by bishop d3. And after f5, I think it was in the making of f5 when Ding's time ran out, but I would like to show you the marvelous finish that Gukesh had planned. It was bishop f4, rook h5, and yet another intermezzo, bishop f5, rook h1, bishop d7. The intermezzo decides the game. Of course, if I take on f5, rook h5 wins. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to conclude the third game's analysis. A super fascinating game where Gukesh managed to get the upper hand. He seems to have been able to create enough problems for Ding to solve, so that although Ding did solve most of them, he burned way time, and when he needed that time, he only played suboptimal moves, allowing Gukesh to level the score. So after round 3, we are back to even Steven. Now comes a rest day, and we are back in action on Friday. So I'm super excited. I'm making more and more friends. I'm meeting, very illustrious players. I'm super happy to always bring a little bit of an extra touch to these games. I hope you guys think that this is some nice
Yes, it
addition.
is.
And in that spirit, I really hope to continue the game analysis. In fact, I already have a special guest for us for round 4. So without further ado, I'm going to call it a day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back with round 4.
Yes, we did, Andreas. Thank you. Okay, so that was a nice video recap, and now just going through this quick. Okay, d4. Amazing. Okay. So here we are. It is. Yes, Gabriel, absolutely. So I'm living close to Hamburg, and I don't know if you know the freestyle event where Magnus is playing the leading role, and they just do the World Championship now, is taking place like 80 kilometers away from me. So it was very tempting to go there, but they only sold VIP cards for tickets for like 600 euros for a day. So that was kind of expensive, of course, but otherwise that would have been cool because of the amount of super GMs playing there, of course. Okay. And also I had vacations during the Olympiad, but I was told there was no access to the playing hall. So that wouldn't have been so good. Okay, so let's see now. You said it is, he showed g5, bishop g3. I forgot to take a look at something first. How did the black bishop end up there in that situation? So I was just clicking through it more or less. Okay, so here we have this. Then he offered the exchange. White didn't take the queen exchange. Now black does. Okay, and now he is threatening to take the pawn, but probably missed the knight to d2. So that riddle is solved now, how the black bishop turned up there. Okay, so, and now I need to find... Yeah, wow, that's a bit much. Yes, it is. Especially where you have such an excellent online coverage. Yeah. So now I need to find the g5 bishop g3. Okay. In line forward after rook g8, rook c1. Okay, so we are kind of here. Rook g8, rook c1 coming. Nope. Okay, so we have to check. So I guess, Gabriel, you're saying we are here, right? So if he plays rook, was rook g5 played? Hold on. Okay, he showed g5 after rook g8, rook c1. Okay, hold on. So we have rook g8, and now I think you say we have rook c1. Okay, rook c1. And now you say it is g5 as said here. Okay. So black plays g5, and that was the miraculous solution. And instead now he showed a g5, bishop g3. Okay, and which is not much for white, but there is the interesting bishop e3. Okay, so if he goes to e3, what happens? So now it is white's turn. We have a score of 0 to 9. We go here. And the engine says it's close to equal. Is it better or is it here? Yes, true. Yes, he might have overlooked it. And now black only has g5 because the bishop is otherwise trapped. Yes. Okay. Hold on. Here and here. Okay. I'm still waiting for the engine to calculate a little. Okay, position is equal. And bishop h7. Yeah, he retreats. Okay. Yes, correct. Okay. So checking again. Yes, Andreas didn't show it, and it's a nice way to go, of course. Okay. Good. Then we are done for the day. As today was a rest day, I don't know how you guys felt, but it was kind of strange. Usually it's like 10 o'clock and okay, I'd like to watch the game, at least let it run on the side. But today was just nothing. It's like in the soccer world championship when you have all week long 3 games a day and then they have rest day and nothing is happening. Or at the Tour de France where after 7 days they have their first rest day is also the same for me. It's like something needs to be done and something is missing because I like that so much, having these events running. Okay. So, thank you so much for watching, of course. For me, it's always a joy to really go through puzzles before the game starts. You can see here we solved more or less 4 or 5 puzzles to really find our way into the position. It was also an exercise for me because Andreas changed sides or switched sides. So we took a look from the white point of view and from the black point of view. So that is sometimes difficult for me, but I got some position or some moves correct, which is always great. And on this World Championship level, I think I'm happy if I only get one move right, but here I got some moves right, which is good, of course. Thank you, Gabriel, for being with me here today. And yeah, if you'd like it, please tune in again on well, today was rest day, so it's we have Saturday evening. So Saturday evening or Saturday during the day, just hit the notification bell and you notice we're on again. Then we can solve the puzzles together, and it's just a very nice way to follow the World Championship match. For me, it's the first time, and yeah, it's just nice to learn something instead of only watching during streams where grandmasters explain everything, where I never think for myself. Basically, I just listen and watch, and here you're forced to really dig into the positions and find out your moves as if you were playing yourself. So that is super cool, and nice, Gabriel. Thank you, and looking forward, of course, seeing you again. And also for the variation and the help with the find the forcing moves, I need that, of course. Okay, super nice. Then we have 2 viewers on Twitch. We are doing a raid, and then we'll see each other on Saturday night, if not before. Thank you so much. All right, so raiding and clicking on following. Who is on? It is Dina Belenkaya, and I think she doesn't allow raids from only 2 guys. Oh, she does. You are ready to raid in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and raid now. Okay. So, thank you again, and have a good night. Bye bye.